So it appears like these hair pieces have a natural fall to them. Like this one wants to kind of go that way. This is the back end of a hairpiece, of course, so this is actually part of the crown, just the outer edge. Imagine this was flipped backwards and this is part of a topper, right? This is the back half of a topper. I'm just lucky that this hair company, Curve Hairpiece, stitches it in such a way that all the hairs go directly towards the back from the crown. But the crown is about 2/3 of the way deep into, you know what I'm talking about? If it's 10 inches long, if it's 10 inches from the front to the back of the topper, you know what a topper is? You have to. Can't. The topper is a hairpiece. Like that, right? 10 by 8 or whatever. So 2/3 of the way through that is 6.66 inches from the front, or 3.33 inches from the back. Okay, this is 3.33 inches from the back. This is the back. This is 3.33 inches, I suppose. Right. So this hair wants to go in all directions. If this was a frontal piece, I could be quite confident they would all want to flow that way. Trying to brush against them is going to make them buff up. But letting it flow forwards, which is the way I wanted it primarily to sort of rest, it's fine. And now look, you can still see through, even though I bleached the front hairline to try to get those cornfield lines to disappear, you can still see through. That's why you must have at least medium density to cover over that shit, because companies do not bleach the roots, as we keep talking about, or as I keep talking about. I don't know why you wouldn't keep talking about it if you discuss hairpieces at all. It's the number one issue, unbleached roots. It would be very, very easy for a company to do that. So for them to charge extra at the end, would you like the knots bleached on your lace piece? Or would you like to have the only option we give for poly pieces, which is no bleaching of the hairline in any way whatsoever? They even show you close-up images on their websites of how bad it looks. So here, what do you think of this? Maybe they're so used to it, they don't even know how shit it is. Try saying shit it is 3 times quickly. All right, if I say it 10 times quickly then. Tongue twister, shit it is, 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 shit it is. Anyway, this is flowing better. This is not the best here, but so I haven't really gone for the curtains, but I think it's occurred to me that the curtains look from Use Your Acting, Gary. You know, from Team America, those curtains. It's my favorite because I'm an actor. I want to have that Gary haircut.
But he needed to have that gigantic mushroom sprawling going on all the way around. Plus he's got naturally very straight hair because he's a puppet. Yeah, that's a bit, that should flow nicer. That's just a bad cut there. This side's probably bad as well. I'm not sure exactly how to make that look completely nice, but I don't want to go too short. It's heavy enough with its own weight to fall at the moment. But I would want to put hair product in this. Now, in terms of color matching, this stuff, this is the first attempt. I didn't even try to match my own color. I just went, all right, number 4M, mocha. It's not an exact match, and in this sunlight I can see it's discolored a bit, but nobody's really going to be paying that much attention. Worst case scenarios, they'll think I'm going grey and I've tried to dye it, and it's a uniform color. So it's not the ultimate dyeing, but it's probably good enough. Straight across line there. Yeah, right along there, see? How do I fix things like that? Is that just dirty? As I've said before, when you cut the hairpiece out with a stencil, when you cut your stencil size of hairpiece out of your topper, I hate having to think of vocabulary. The scissors are going to cut through the beginnings of a hair all the way along the front. It's easier with knots to try to get through those gaps, but with poly it's going to go snip. That's why you're left with all these little at the front. Now plucking them out is sort of impossible because they're embedded inside the plastic. The best I ever do is just grab a bit and just chop it like that, right? It'll grab a bit. So it's broken up a bit. Not a whole bunch of parallel straight lines right there at the front hairline. It's a part of the whole cornfield line problem. But you don't want the cornfield lines going in multiple directions. That's when the hair's flowing correctly. And then you get the zigzag, because you can still see them. So whether they're cornfield lines, straight, unnatural looking lines, or some diagonal, some straight, some sideways, you're still going to have a problem. They need to be invisible, there's no way around it. And when they are invisible, it's probably better that they are in straight cornfield lines, but blonde. Anyway, I'm going to put something in my hair now to complete this. I don't know how to fix this ugliness with that part of the cut or with that part of the cut. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. My hair's starting to grow back a bit now, so it'll blend better than it used to. But I wouldn't want to cut it really shorter than this. So I'm just going to put some stuff in it. I'll just use this defining paste. It's petroleum based shit. It's bad and it smells like poison. So in conclusion, in regards to that buff up hairstyle where I've got that whole pineapple thing going on, that haircut was suitable only for longer surrounding hairs. It was too long for the short haircut that I've got, so I had to cut it. That's why it's sitting better. Also, the flow, the direction of the hairs. The direction of the hairs matters. Even though you can sort of brush it sideways and stuff if you want to. But I find that brushing it ruins it for me. It always makes me look worse when I've got brushed hair. Hello, darling. Oh my goodness, you little pup. Oh, this is a gorgeous little girl. Look at the little puppy. Can't believe it. Look at the little puppy. The little puppy. Hello, darling. Hello, puppy. Hello, sweetie. Little puppy, wuppy, wuppy. Oh, little pup. Little puppy. Yes, you are. So I'm just filming. I'm in the middle of filming right now. All right, cool. All right, that's it. That's how you do your hair.
Oh my god, the physics of this is just fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Are there any rockets or anything lying around? Tell the camera what you're doing. I'm filming you. Tell everybody what you're doing.
Oh, rocket!
Yeah, pick it up and pull the string, and then let go. and it's gonna turn around and fly back to you as well. Get the ping pong bat and smash it. Is it coming back?
Yeah. Oh.
That's alright, don't worry. It's not a part of the game, it's just messing around. So you're using a controller to control a virtual controller, but in your mind, you're seeing hands in front of you, aren't you? When you look down, you're seeing hands, not controllers.
Yeah.
You're seeing a hand holding a controller, but it's not that one. It's amazing. With your puppy doggy dog. Wait for putting white in your eyes. Puppy dog waggle tail. With your waggle, such a waggly tail, such a waggly tail. Oh shit, that didn't work. This made things worse. The shorter the hair, the more it springs up. You just pretty much got to accept that with, I guess, medium density, you're gonna get that. It's not good, is it? Maybe you should think about getting some injection molded hair. Injection poly, injected poly. What do you think? How's the joke? Still unable to solve the springiness. That's just bloody worse. There's nothing you can do. That's why I throw out hairpieces. I keep thinking I can fix this kind of problem, and I start chopping it to pieces, and then I don't like it anymore. Like, look at that hairstyle, what I've done to it. You saw how it was before, it's much better. Once again, I'm going to have to start thinking about buying more stock. Straight line. Never get glue on the hairs, it's fucked, man. C22. Running out. Look at this packaging, it's just rotten. That solved it. maybe I should just go back to trying lace again. But then the glue shines through. And if I thought this was a problem, the front hairline, no. I need a tickets please hole punch thing. What is that called? A ticket fobber? That'll do, but I can't. Yeah. Got rid of that bulk, but now with the sproing. Bulk and sproing, two major new problems. Great. Hairs pressing against each other in a thick, dense forest are causing them to stick up. I don't know. That sounds right to me. Does it sound alright? I'm gonna go. So I wore a hat over muck after chopping off bits of hair, making sure it flowed forwards. It's been acting like a lava lamp, basically just exploding out of my head like a pineapple for the last few days. Haven't been able to really get it right. Now it's just all kind of wet and soggy looking. But yeah, the moment any wind comes, it flails up and starts looking unrealistic. So I'm not sure how to fix this. See, if it gets windy and it dries, it'll start not conforming to my head at all. See? Yeah, see, straight away. So I try to go for that curtains look, but it's already starting to look weird. It's really hard to get into the right position. And I just really don't think it's about the way you cut your hair. But it's seriously, it's so much easier to control when it's got some weight to it. And hair product is not good enough. It's really got to be hair length, which means that this short back and sides look, it's too hard. I know it's really hard to manage wiry greys and stuff on the sides, which is why I really do want these to be short. It's so much nicer. But the length on the top, to keep that short, is just really hard. Could be a density issue, like if I had medium light density instead of medium density, it would have less hairs holding each other up and pressing against each other. But look, even since the start of this video, you can see that the wind blowing is pretty much majorly, I've got to keep pressing it down with my hand, and it's messing it up more and more all the time. So like even since the start of this video, you can see it's fucking hard to keep good, you know what I mean? So even though it was good when I walked out of the door of the house, it's certainly not coming to rest in a good way. Now I could have locked it into position with hairspray, but then it's really shiny, you know? Send your video links through. I don't think comments are quite cutting it anymore. People are making claims all over the place, but without video evidence, videos of people in the wind and walking down the street in everyday life and stuff. There's no point in having a perfectly beautiful wig or something just sitting on your head in completely controlled conditions, when the moment you walk out the door it just looks like shit, and in sunlight it doesn't look any good either. I really feel like links are the only way to do it. I'll just go on the Discord channel and post pictures and stuff. The hair match isn't exact either, but it's better than it was when it was light. So, okay, here's the deal. I've flipped my hairpiece around and you can see this is the back unbleached end of the hairpiece. Absolutely ridiculous, obviously. The other way around is the way I've been wearing it, but it's been very fucking hard to get it to look anything other than just a terribly messy, hard to brush hairpiece. Looks better than the other way around. I just had it, obviously, but I've been doing some thinking. I've shrunk this down, right? Taken a sliver off the top and I put it up against this lace hairpiece and I've pre-cut out from ages ago. Can't even tell the difference. This is one of those bad hairpieces, I think, one of those shedding ones. The thing is though, lace toppers actually seem to be bigger lengthwise than poly. I could potentially, with this new shape, now that it's smaller rather than larger or even the same size, I could potentially fit 3 of these again, like I did in the old days. With poly, you know that there's a center that's kind of just forced. With lace, I feel like it's forced as well, but not as much. There could potentially be a way for me to get 3 hair pieces out of lace and knock. What's the difference between 33% and 50%? It's about 12 and a half. Sorry, let's be 16.6 is basically what I'm saying. 16.6% less per hairpiece. If I could get 3 out of it again. Obviously, I prefer poly because it's just so much easier to stick the front down and maintain it. The glue doesn't come through the poly. There's a shine you have to hide in summertime. Breathability is not a major thing, okay? With lace, it's not a major improvement all on the front hairline, really. Obviously, if you have a big area back here, you want some sort of breathability, but glue is kind of smothering it. And if you don't have glue on every square inch, then you'll get chafing. The glue stops any of that rubbing, especially with a material like that. You could totally grate cheese with that. I am contemplating wearing lace again. It's easier to dye the base. No cornfield lines. Obviously, the roots are always shit, and I have to dye them. This is already dyed, at least at the front area. Might as well dye the whole thing next time. All these problems I've had about trying to dye the base of poly. Bleach it, I mean. I could even incorporate that theory of having the medium or light brown as the color that I purchase, and then just use this stuff to darken it, with the added problem that I feel like short hair pieces stick up. I feel like I've got to have it longer, but I'm going with the wiry greys and they don't behave themselves, plus they're grey. I'd like to have that side, the ability to have those sides long again, but if they're grey and wiry, it's going to look like shit. The only option therefore if I'm going to grow it long, is to dye those greys. Otherwise I'd have to keep cutting it short like this, which means that this has to be shorter and then it sticks up. If I want to have a long flowing head of hair again, I need the sides to be equally long so it blends, which means dyeing my entire head. So my consideration is long lace, potentially get 3 hair pieces out of a lace topper, and just dye it all. Obviously the problem still remains with the whole front hairline thing, but I'm having problems with the front hairline of poly now anyway. The tape marking method is pretty shitty. The tan marking method is equally as shitty. It's just because you're off by deviations of a millimeter each way, you know. But then there's no problem of putting glue in the hairs as you're trying to aim, like on poly, because you're always gluing the actual scalp with lace. I'm not really into the tape thing yet. So potentially I'll be looking for deals and buying lace. And I'm getting all these emails from different hair companies saying, we still have some stock left, grab it while you can. We're not making much at the moment because of COVID and the production chain's all damaged in China. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. But one major thing I really do have to do is lose weight. I've been putting on so much weight lately. I tried to stand up and watch an episode of Glee, which is my new favourite show at the moment. Yeah, Glee from 2009. It's all about musicals and stuff. It's about the school choir. Glee, there's a Glee club thing in America. I think it's just a school choir, basically. Anyway. I want to potentially be on stage again, and I'm just looking at myself in the mirror. I just don't want to be seen by anybody. I want to walk down the street. I feel uncomfortable standing on the spot. Even in my own presence, I'm embarrassed for myself. Like I'm too embarrassed to stand there, just feeling my fat. So, 2 things to lose the weight, and I've done it before, is liquid diet, soup and protein shakes, and just walking non-stop, just all the time. The thing is, when you watch TV or whatever, you don't have to sit in a chair, you can just walk up and down that spot like that. You look fat and ugly if anyone saw you, like including yourself in a mirror, but shit, you're burning calories. It works. You could even go one episode of walking on the spot, next episode sit down, have a pizza, you'd still lose weight. Fat and clumsy. But yeah, this scarecrow hair will not do, and there's no way to cut this to make it good. It's just, I've tried snipping away at bits and pieces the whole time. It needs to be flowy, okay? I can't get this. I mean, this isn't short enough to sort of make me feel like it has to be longer than this, but I just can't get it to sit right no matter what I do. When all of this is longer, it blends in a lot better. I really hate this hairpiece. It looks okay from certain angles, but you go for a walk in the wind and you end up looking like this. So potentially tomorrow, after I've had some sort of sleep, I'll go for a walk and put this on my head. Lace. Still got a year supply of this stuff. When I say year supply, I mean it might not last a month each, but I did get 12 out of that set of 6. But they have real definite cornfield lines. And I might actually go through them all and just snip off the top, because I'm having this problem about this overhang that's happening all back here, because for years this stencil has been the wrong size. I've just arbitrarily decided that that's how it needs to be cut at the top. As I said, I could shave this extra bit out, but I don't really see a benefit. The benefit would only come if I were to shave all of that out and make it larger, so that just placing a hairpiece would just uniformly put a lump there instead of a lump there. I'll sleep on it. I was just about to dye my hair and then I looked at this hairpiece colour and I thought that's actually even lighter than my own hair colour. I'd have to dye this as well. And I thought, fuck, I'd do it. Just shove that back on my head. It's greasy and sticky uppy. The back half of the hairpiece. So that's part of the crown of the hairpiece just there. Which sort of half explains why it just sticks up in all directions. The thing is, I've been for a walk the last couple of days and this did not endure well in the wind. I don't mean it's going to fall off my head, not enough glue or whatever. I mean, it just couldn't stay where I told it to. Now, in terms of dyeing these greys, it feels like it's a lifelong decision almost, isn't it? Because grey's not going to go away, it's going to increase, and I'm starting to see little bits of grey speckle their way through. Well, there's one there. Up there, that's beyond the temple zone. This is still orange more than grey. I've probably a couple of greys here. Found a grey on my ballsack once. Not that I can actually look down and see my ballsack properly with these big fat guts in the way. Got a few problems going on here. Then I've got dandruff. I've got to have more showers during this COVID thing. I'm just too fucking lazy. I mean, I had one yesterday. What was it today? But I'm doing it once every 3 days at the moment. So basically spend my life in my pajamas. That's a lot of fucking grey. I won't even know what I look like, and one day I'll shave my head and I'll just accept my baldness. Maybe I should do that instead. What do you think? The thing is, with a round face, that's not going to look like I'm not going to look like Jason Statham when I'm fat. So maybe just lose weight and shave my head. But still, it doesn't work because then I'm not tanned. So okay, shave my head, be fit, spray tan. Potentially, spray tan is another version of a hairpiece. Tanning the head, etc. Then I have to do the whole body. Fuck. Let's just see what my hands do. I'm watching my hands play with things in this room, and maybe they'll come up with a solution, because sometimes I start making these videos and I don't really know where I'm going with it. I've got to, if I'm going to use this, it's going to have to be split. Just remember, I reprinted this thing after the other one lost a tooth. But I do have to make sure these are not stuck together. Because realistically, it's not really that much extra effort to dye this hairpiece if I'm dyeing my hair, my head, at the same time. And if I am dyeing my head, I probably do need a second glove. I don't know where it is. Well, my hand will be stained for a while. I don't know to deal with how long your skin remains stained for, but I can only assume it's gonna look like shit if I go all the way to the roots of my natural hair, which of course I will. It's just, it might take 2 or 3 showers to get it out, which means I don't want to leave the house today, because it probably will take some shedding of dead skin cells as well to get it all off. By the way, if you don't know what this is a base shield that I invented to separate the roots of the hair system from the hairs. It's not 100% effective in that I cannot get really close to the base of the hairpiece, but what it does do is holds the hairpiece in place and at least lets me get down to about 1 inch from the base. So this front hairline on this lace piece has been dyed. Might as well have done the whole thing. What are those Alexa things? They all beep at 6:38. I think what happens is I've set it to change volume at sunrise, and it just looks up on the internet what time sunrise is happening in Melbourne, and it just goes beep, 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 adjusting volume. It's really badly designed, much lower level technology than I expected. At least it's not clashing with all my Siri devices like the HomePod did. These things take about 6 hours to print. So I don't want to break another tooth off. I could redesign it so there's an extra partial millimeter between each tooth, so it won't happen again. It's just that where it touches the hot plate, the printing bed of the printer, that's heated, and so the bottom level is melted into the table. That's enough for this. So I'll be doing this and my hair this color. Probably should wet this. Get all the hairs together. Now it's weird feeling the water running through the hairpiece onto my gloved hand. I'm used to the poly. Yes, I'm not sure if I'll be watching Glee season 2. They kind of really had it like, it fizzled out. It should have been a big crescendo up towards the regional championships at the end of season 1, but it was a bit of a fizzler. It's almost like they spent too long setting up in the 4 last episodes, and then they just squeezed in the grand final and all sorts of things into one episode very weirdly. I mean, I just didn't feel the emotions they were trying to make me feel. The writers fucked up, basically. But 5 seasons to go. Question, do I want to be grey? Answer, no, I don't want to be grey. Do I want to be fake? The answer to that question sort of has to be yes. If I'm going to dye my hair and wear a fake hairpiece. But the answer is not yes. I don't want to be fake. Do I want to be unfake more than wanting to be bald? I suppose that's a yes. Lesser of two evils. Don't want to be bald. Don't really want to be fake, but I'd rather be fake than bald. I think I'm about to find out whether I prefer to be fake than grey. Now greys, these hairs, they grow back once every 3 days. So within 2 days, you'll probably start seeing greys regrowing underneath. So I don't know how people deal with this. People who dye their hair must do it so often. But the good thing is, this stuff comes in a tube, and when it's exposed to air, it doesn't matter. You just put the lid back on. Probably should find the other glove. It did come with tools. I can reach my whole head. The thing is, I probably have to have a shower as well. Alright, can you see the greys as they are now and the orange sideburns? We're going to darken it all. So this one was dyed, wasn't it? And this one's just been wet. Yeah, once you wet it, you can't see what's going on. Seems like two different colours. I could just stick this back on and not dye it. Maybe I can't be bothered. The list has become big now. Do that, and shower. And then I'll have dye all around here for 2 days or 3 days. Plus I've got acid reflux right now and it hurts. So I'm gonna go get some gloves going. Take this glove off and change my mind. Now I need to put a phone in my pocket. I haven't got a Fitbit. Maybe I need to buy a Fitbit, but I haven't got any money. I've had negative 200 bucks in the bank this whole week. Finally just got some money, but not enough. Definitely not enough to buy a Flowbee. It's 400 bucks. Definitely save money if I shave my head. Exercise is actually free, but not free in terms of effort. Probably less effort to go and get a full-time office job than exercise until I'm not fat. Anyway, I can't be bothered doing all these different things. And yeah, 44 years old. I've got to get my shit together. Any dreams that I had have to be achieved now. Most of my dreams involve being in shape, so I've got to do that. I'm just really grateful that I don't have a bad back like I did all last year, and I thought I was supposed to have surgery, but it's kind of knitted somehow together, and I was really careful not to pinch and sneeze, and somehow it's recovered a bit. Hopefully I I don't do anything that exacerbates that old injury. Very, very grateful that my back is not pinching every waking moment anymore. Very lucky. You can't dye grey every day, can you? I certainly will never do that. And then people will see greys growing through. If I'm not going to dye my natural hair, I don't need to dye this. So I can just put it on my head, just put some glue down on my scalp. But I'll leave it in there because it was a bit pain in the ass to put it in the first place. So, alright, I'll get back to you. I'll figure it out. Another night, slept on this thing, but as you know, I've just taken it off and slapped it back down without proper gluing it or anything. Which makes you think, you know, if it's only that amount of glue, you know, it was pre-glued, took it off, had skin cells and sweat on it, and I just slapped it down. So that's enough glue to just hold it there in position for, you know, temporarily. Not nicely or anything, but like I say, it allows you to imagine just peeling one out of a packet pre-glued and just slapping it on your head. But I just wish the hair would behave itself, and I wish the hairline would not lift. It always lifts. Why does it lift? I think I sweat more than there, but of course there's leverage at the front, isn't there? It's not like I'm doing that at the back, but I'm doing it at the front, see? So the leverage. Yeah, I need to exercise, seriously. And actually shave my head. The thing is, when you shave your head, you don't get sideburns or anything. If you keep your sideburns, then you keep the accentuated dark to light transition. And also, well, if you bald long enough, that will meld into one pink color or brown color or whatever skin color you got, blue color. Makes you look a bit older than that when you haven't got hair. Yeah, but I was just watching some educational videos on YouTube about how to dye the greys. They don't just smother it all over. Well, they do, but they start by doing it gently. I don't know why that helps. It's just they're trying to minimize the amount of mess that comes around the front here. I'm not going to be dyeing my eyebrows or anything. Maybe I'll just dye one side, just so I can see what it looks like. And then dye this. Or just not dye anything at all. And just put this on. It is lace. I need to do this experiment now because I want to know how long you can wait before you do it again. Now, a lot of these videos on YouTube are saying 4 to 6 weeks, whereas imagine 4 to 6 weeks of facial hair growth. Does facial hair grow faster than head hair? I don't know, but this grows back every 2 days. Or this amount, I mean, yeah, 1 day. So 4 to 6 weeks, I don't know what they're talking about. You'd have heaps of greys at the roots showing through at that point. Alright. Just gonna put my little hat back on while I'm thinking about it. I am gonna just go ahead and dye my hair. This hair and the greys. But I'm thinking maybe I'll leave one side untouched. What do you think? just for the sake of experimenting on myself. One side grey, and one side this colour, with a diffusion ratio, or dilution ratio, of 1:1 with this 3% developer. Now, some people say you don't want one solid colour all the way through your hair, it just doesn't look natural. But Chinese do it, and it's like, I don't see any shade differences in their hair. But I guess white people don't really have one solid colour of hair, do they? It's usually like I've got red, grey, medium brown, dark brown, light brown, etc. Just it fluctuates over the head. And on my arms I've got orange hair, on my ball sack I've got browny orange hair. So, you know, you just gotta, oh, look at that, shoulder hair, jet black. I'm a mongrel, like freckles all over me. You know, I am gonna do it solid brown, except for my right hand side here. I'll do all of that. And I'll do this as well. Now this is lace, so there is a potential to redeem this with bleach on the base. I don't want to have to do that. I don't think I have any other lace pieces if this fucks up. I'd then be forced to go through my year's supply of that shitty 0.06 replacement stuff, which has low density and cornfield lines all through it. This piece I'll probably just throw away. This was dyed, by the way, with this stuff to try to match my natural hair color more. But now the only reason I'm dyeing my natural hair color is to get rid of the grays, just to see what that's like, just one time. I might never do it again. I think I'll do it for half an hour. I've been told you could probably do it for 15 minutes, so I don't want to burn or get reactions, but it would be nice to see if I do get reactions. So first step, take this off. Actually, it's easier for me to dye this side because I'm right-handed and I don't have a second glove. Yes, I do. I found it. All right. Now, I watched some video of some guy saying some people, he said this, some people use Vaseline around the edges to try to avoid getting skin discoloration. But he said, no, he never does that. He just applies like that. At any rate, there are bits where the hairs and the scalp sort of merge together so sporadically that Vaseline would prevent the dyeing of certain greys that are along this perimeter area. So, might as well dye all that and then wash it. He used the word exfoliate. I'm not going to be exfoliating. I'm just going to leave it for 24 hours or something so I get clean up. I mean, to be honest, if I was going out tonight, I wouldn't be dyeing my hair tonight. Some people have even said you only need 4 to 6 weeks in between root touch-ups for the grey. That sounds like bullshit to me. 4 to 6 weeks before what your hairs grow back on your sideburns. Doesn't sound right at all. Now I love this dye. I really do. You know why? Because unlike the bleach that I've been using over the years, this stuff, you just put the lid back on and it's ready to go again next time. It's amazing from my perspective. This stuff stays in a bottle, that other stuff stays in a tube, and no problem. So, okay, I'm gonna stir this up. I'm gonna do it down here, even though you're not gonna be able to see it properly, because I don't want to splash it in my eyeballs, even though it's that good television. I don't actually know if this is enough, so I'm just gonna do that wig thing as well. I'll just do it again if it runs out, okay? First I'll start with my hair. Now the only thing I'm going to keep not dyed is my left hand temple. Now I'm doing it all the way through until my scalp feels actually wet, which means I'm actually putting it all over my skin as well. I'm sure a hairdresser would try to avoid that, but they'd get little splashes around the place anyway because they can't avoid it, which is why trying to dye a blonde hairpiece is so difficult. Okay, so this left hand side here is the one thing that's going to remain untouched. For the sake of experimentation, not for the sake of I prefer it that way. Much easier to compare if I do that. $21.59, let's just call it 10 o'clock. So at 10:30, I'll set the alarm. There were plastic things that you're supposed to stick on your ears and stuff, but I think that seems more difficult and problematic, and knocking it would piss me off. Okay, so it's starting to change colour already to purple. I always think of brown as kind of orange, you know, dark orange. But I guess brown could be dark any sort of colour, maybe not. I've run out, I've got to make some. Avoiding the roots. The base shield does work, it's just a matter of how close to the roots I can actually get. So I'm glad this is a much better design of base shield than the other one I invented. A large comb with close teeth. Tight gap teeth, you might say. Okay, we've got my little bowl of sprog. Just put some of this in. Probably not a good idea to let this ever touch that base, although otherwise it can happen. Just there'll be a bit of dye coloured on the tip there, wouldn't matter too much. Alright, I'm gonna stir this together and make the second little bowl. These dyes last a while. You get a lot out of it, especially when you mix in that big bottle as well of developer. Okay, so got a lot more now. So I'll leave this for half an hour, and I'll leave the dye on my head for half an hour, or until it starts burning like crazy. I'm gonna get in the shower straight away. This area over here is not getting any colour at all. I didn't pull any of those through nice enough. Just trying to pull on the hairs so they come through more. But I didn't feed it in nicely enough. Look, all of that is getting no colour whatsoever. That's going to be like 1.5 inches. See, those hairs should be going straight down through those gaps, but they're not. They're going sideways and coming down over here. So that messed it up. Alright. I'll just let that be good enough. Okay, so I'm going to waste all this, wash it down the sink, take this off, and I'll come back when it's 10:30. By the way, just so it gets a mention, while I remember this, still got 20 minutes to go. This was a latex thing that came with a little tool. As you can see, there's a little hook on the end of it. You're supposed to put this latex thing on your head, and then fuck, that's loud Chinese plastic shit. Alright, so these holes, these little circles, they're just reinforcements. There's nothing holy about them. Okay, so this hook, right, that would go through, let's say, anywhere through the rubber. I'm gonna stab myself. Alright, twist it or something, and then pull hairs back through and they come out. Pretty fucking useless. So I wasted money on this before I built the base shield. So I think this really proves my point about listening to adamant commenters. Like the YouTube commenters on my channel and any other channel, just say what they're brainstorming, it's fine. But I spent money on this, and I also spent money on these fucking Pop-Tart things, which are equally useless. So this was a waste of $12, and this was a waste of about $120. So I think I need to basically go with my instincts a lot more, because otherwise I've spent a heap of money. Yeah, this is purple. You can see on this side, these are the greys. I can see extremely clearly in this mirror with my eyes that this is grey, but through the camera it looks dark brown. So I don't know how to look for you on the big screen at the end, because everything's reversed, because it's an iPhone, it's got dropped frames and all that sort of shit, and I'm going to use Handbrake to convert it all to a constant frame rate before I put it into Premiere and all the other shit, because iPhones are really incompatible with everything else in the world. It'll be interesting to see this being dark. And it'll be nice to see sideburns that are brown instead of orange for the first time in my life. I'm not going to do the eyebrows. Also interested to see how quickly and easily this purple stuff wipes off my head. If it causes any burning or itching. The thing is, it might not cause burning or itching, it might exacerbate existing scalp problems that you know I have already. Okay, so it's about 10:30. I'm going to start by cleaning that and that at the same time in there. Wow, this clock's very different to the clock in there. It's, on my computer it says 22:29 when I left that room, so this clock's not fast enough. Alright, I'll be back. In fact, let's just say 25 minutes. 22 minutes. What I am concerned about is the roots here. Now that all of this is going to be darker, maybe this is all going to be too light. We'll be able to see it matching there maybe, but up here it might be wrong. Right, so 23 minutes of dyeing time. I'll get in the shower now, I'll rinse all this off and do the dishes because my house still hasn't got a kitchen. So I separated every single one of these teeth, rinsed it off, dyed all my hair with Mocha 4 with a 1:1 ratio with Vol 3 developer, also known as 10% Vol or 10 Vol. And I left this area grey, right here. Luckily, it's not as dark as I thought. The effectiveness of the greys being converted to brown hairs looks as if it's not 100% effective. Still some greys in there. And it's barely noticeable that this has become brown rather than orange in this lighting. I also dyed this, but I wasn't able to get right down to the bottom edges. This is French lace. I am concerned that the parts that have not been dyed to Mocha 4M will stand out. Even though I always talk about wanting to make the roots invisible, it may cause a conflict with the darkness of all of this. But it's not really much darker than my natural hair. I've pre-glued my head, my scalp, 3/4 of the way down with this tincture, this mixture of 50% alcohol and 50% ultra hold. And I will do the bottom half again after this is on my head. Also, this is running out, so once that's complete, I will make another batch, which will be more of a 2:1 ratio. Now, because this is lace, I've got to annoyingly remove the hairs that are coming through from the other side. And I can't remember what batch this hairpiece was from. I think it might have been one of those highly shedding pieces. Hopefully it's not that piece that was not tied in at all, because that's just criminal, that piece. Let's see how this goes. Applying alcohol onto the very thin glue. It's the thinnest glue I could probably decide to do. Okay, pressing that down. Try to get that in position. Positioning lace up around the perimeter area seems easier than with poly. Get that in the edge there, holding it in position because it's still wet with alcohol. And then trying to make this land on this temple over here without overhang or gaps. Trying to stretch it out so there are no folds. Brushing back, hoping it'll hold despite the lack of thickness of the glue. Feels like it's landed in a pretty good spot down here. So just remember, I have not applied glue to the front hairline. Any glue that's holding this in position right now is just residual, don't worry. So it's nothing, okay? So just move that out of the way. Make sure your fingers have not got glue on the tips of them, otherwise everything just sticks and it's very frustrating. I'm just going to clean this brush. Now, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to have to try to get the front hairline right in the placement of glue. Because as you know, I've usually just got to paste glue onto poly. No, I can't. So this is very dribbly, low viscosity glue, but still no problems with hold, really. So what marking method am I using? None at all. I'm almost ready to glue down onto my forehead and then clean that afterwards. Not a great strategy, but in terms of my immediate time-saving ideas, like you can see how far I've just come down here. That's wrong, you know. Hairs are going to stick down into that. But I could potentially wipe it afterwards. I don't usually recommend that because it will become a mess. But with a good amount of C22 and abrasive rubbing, I could potentially clean it up. That's never coming off. Okay. Don't drop it in the sink. Yeah, glue is very messy. I would, if that was an entire bottle, instead of just having a little bit left. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I should clean it and use it so I can keep. Two options. Pour into there, both glue and alcohol, or just make a 2-to-1 tincture out of that and throw this out when it runs out. Imagine pouring that and then, yeah, not too hard. But it won't be ready to go immediately. And I know this 2-to-1 ratio works. 1-to-1, sorry, ratio works. I'm confident I've got a couple more bottles of this lying around. Like once again, Dublin Green versus 1-to-1 alcohol ultra hold. This is actually better. This is running out. Very expensive for me to ship it from America. This I can get it for, I don't know, I can't never remember the price. Somewhere between $25 and $45 a bottle from eBay. I cannot remember the price. I'm leaning more towards $29, okay, for one of these. These are $12 from America, but $100 delivery. This is free delivery from eBay. All right. So yeah, obviously I prefer to buy Ultra Hold. Far more plentiful and available everywhere. Dublin Green, very difficult to find. And now we've just invented a new type of glue, so this is no longer needed. You might as well consider Ultra Hold now to be a concentrate, an ingredient in the new formula, which is one part of this and one part of alcohol, if you want to get it really thin. But in this next concoction, I'm just going to make it 1 to 2, okay? I'm going to put the brush down on this. and pull the rest in up to the top. Some kind of infusion will likely happen over the next few days. It's different. It's interesting to watch the different densities of clear liquid mixing together. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's different from ice and water. Maybe I should leave it sideways for a few days. Shaking it could cause problems, so I'm just going to leave it to infuse somehow. Also, I need a new box, bag. What is this container called? Of baby wipes, which I have stored in the cupboard. Also, I need to wash the glue off my fingers so this shit doesn't keep getting all over everything. And put it back on this. Alright, we're going to clean up in here, it's just pissing me off now. Alright, I might as well just grab a fresh one of these. Spray some C22. This is Walker Tape packaging. They're renowned for having shit packaging. Everything just falls to pieces. Just going to rub on an estimation line. I don't want to take off anything that I need to keep because I really want it to stay down on the first try. Same tissue. There will be a build-up of dirt within, I don't know, just lying on my pillow it'll probably get dirty for some reason. I don't know why it does, but see how it goes. Can you see the difference between this side that's been dyed? It's 23 minutes worth of dyeing, wasn't it? Doesn't seem to have got rid of all the greys. I don't know how that's possible. And then over here, not dyed at all. Well, this has muted the greyness, so some of them have been obviously brought down, which is good because it means that I can be less destructive and make it look less fake. This hairpiece, which is the poly, I might as well keep it as backup just in case this fails. Right. I'll give this a couple of minutes to dry. Okay, so should have had enough time to dry, and it has. Unfortunately, it's not going to land exact, is it? Because it's lace. But it feels so soft compared to poly. It's a completely different feel. And with the possibility of being able to bleach the roots perfectly, I may go back to it permanently. Especially the cornfield lines. I can't figure out how to eradicate them. Now this particular hairpiece did have its front hairline bleached. Then I just dyed it, so I'm sure that some of that bleaching work has been undone, even through the base shield. You can see the hair's sticking to the glue, but I feel like the hairline is way too high. I feel like the hairline should be there. So I'll lift this all up and replace it. Oh shit, I forgot you can't get this wet, can you? That's another thing about lace. It's too hot. Yeah, I think this is the dodgy hairpiece because you can see how the roots are not tied in at all. It's pulling out from underneath. But I need more slack, you see, so that's why I have to pull it up all this way. Yeah, this is the shitty hairpiece. I don't have any money in the bank at all, really, at the moment, so I can't order more lace pieces. So it's been my little test. At the moment, the shortcomings of lace around the front hairline area seem like the lesser of two evils. Micropore tape. I'm gonna mark it nicely if I can even find the starting line. Yeah, lace is extremely frustrating. And the whole breathability factor. I mean, it can't hold in heat as much as poly does, but it's still got glue smothered all over it. Like, I seriously cannot find anywhere along here where the edge of the tape begins. I'm going to throw that in the bin because I can't be fussed. Got a smaller one here. So this one is definitely not ready to go yet. I'll let that infuse for the next couple of days. I'm going to turn it upside down. So yeah, the tape marking method really does massively help with speed, and having the glue thinned down massively helps as well. I'm not sure how shiny this new tincture is, but you would assume it's probably less shiny, if anything, than the pure concentrate of Walker tape, ultra old. But once again, this is an estimation. It might not be the right place to make it land, but it's quite flexible, you see, so I could potentially force it to land exactly where I want. But it won't be exact, it never is. All right. Let's hope there's some kind of alignment. Just going to try to make that land as far down as I can. I left it too short. The great thing about the thinned out glue is that there are no lumps. Though there is a lump here, that's why I'm pointing it out. There's some kind of lump here, but it's not a chunky lump, you know. Thinned down glue is so good. So good, it's the best glue ever. I mean, it's not the best glue that can be invented, it's just the best glue that I've seen so far. Yeah, so just mix alcohol and alcohols, and I don't know the fastest possible way to make them infuse. But in my experience in the past, shaking it makes it turn white, which makes it feel like it's not very sticky or something. So let's hope I'm not wasting all of this and I just got lucky with that other concoction. Something immediately that I'm noticing about this particular hairpiece, even though I know it's a shit hairpiece by the way, is that there's no gigantic lump happening up here, which is what was happening with the V-loops from the poly. But I have to point out to you, there are no knots at all on this hairpiece. They stitched it, but they either forgot or didn't bother to tie in the hairs to the netting at all. So that's why all those hairs ripped out the moment I lifted the lace. This hairpiece will have to be discarded pretty much the first time I take it off. So it's a good thing that I did proper scalp preparation by shaving my shave zone properly. But of course the glue around the front of the hairline is always going to have residual glue everywhere, or there'll be occasional bits that are not glued down properly at the front. In terms of the knots not being perfect, I'm willing to accept it for a little bit while I figure out whether or not lace is actually worth it or not. The main reason I would consider lace now is because after all these years of using poly, I don't know why, but I never really noticed those cornfield lines before, and they are increasingly a major problem for me. maybe it's just the low quality of hairpieces that have been constructed during COVID. I don't know. I could probably go back and look at old videos. Maybe I was just so enthralled that I'd overcome the problems of lace that I didn't pay enough attention. Whatever I choose, it will be the lesser of two evils, not some brilliant new type of hairpiece, because we're just making do with the shortcomings of what's available. I like the density of this piece. This is part of the custom order from LordHair. We're not talking about millimeters anymore in terms of, 0.03 millimeters or 0.06 millimeters, because it's not poly, it's French lace. And the information is unknown to me, basically. I'm pretty sure that the depth in microns of Swiss lace and French lace have been determined, but we just don't measure it like that. I don't know. Because there's something else that differentiates Swiss lace from French lace, and that is the maximum density you're allowed to have. Probably because of the size of the holes in the material or something. And I've been told Swiss lace can only allow medium light density maximum, whereas French lace allows for medium density, which is what this is. I couldn't get this level of density with Swiss lace, and so I wouldn't choose Swiss lace if I was going to choose lace at all. Because if you can't cover the, ugly knots and the ugly shine of glue, then you're gonna have doll's hair, or you're gonna have glue shine coming through. Summer is coming for me here in Australia. In fact, as of midnight, we've just hit spring. 1st of September 2021. Yes, I know it's weird to begin springtime on the first day of a month, but that's how Australians do it. Seems kind of weird. I know the rest of the world uses equinoxes and stuff. I think we're the odd ones out, and we should probably change. Which might sound very open-minded of me, given most people would not find shortcomings to their own country's traditions. But I do. I find shortcomings to Australia's traditions. Worst thing about Australia is we're a copycat country who has no original ideas of our own. So we just wait for other countries to do things first, and then we see if it works, and then we copy them. Pretty much 99% of the time. It's a disaster. There have been breakthroughs from Australia over the years. It's certainly not enough. And in terms of goods and services, we have extremely few goods and services compared to other Western countries, which is entirely explainable from just talking about the distance we are from other countries. But, now that everything's sort of coming from China, we have a chance. Right, let's see how this looks. Major lifting going on here. Black dots from the knots not being perfect. Really dark dots all through here. The adhesion at the front is all good in terms of the places I glued down to with the tape. And yeah, just a general feeling of dark dots all the way along. Also, I placed this hairpiece too high, despite the fact that I lifted it up and pulled it down again to get it lower. It really is about 1 centimeter too high. Which is crazy. I'm hoping that when it dries, it'll hang nicely. Very smooth transition here between bio hair and hairpiece. That feels pretty good. No lump. Now let's look at the sideburns where the bleaching. Sorry, not bleaching, the dyeing. So the greys are still somewhat visible, but not really. And on this side, they're more visible. The color match from dyeing for 20 minutes seems to have taken out, or added some darkness, but not much. Given that my natural hair is here, and all the rest is dyed, I think it's hard to tell. From my angle, look in the mirror, you can see it perfectly from where you're standing. I can't see what you can see. So yeah, obviously I haven't wet any of this. This is all wet, so it's going to look different. So I'll spray it so I get a general uniformity, and I'll style it. I don't really want dreadlocks, I just want a kind of a neatness. So the product I'll use is a little bit of this, and I'll water it down. And I just remembered that I've got to re-glue that front flap that's sticking up at the hairline. There we go. The hairline's too high, but whatever. It's nice to feel the transition at the perimeter. I've always said, even though I don't like lace at the front hairline, I've always thought it was a better perimeter material. Better than poly at the perimeter. Now when I fix this, I'm just going to put some tape across there, put some of this glue on it, wait 15 minutes and press it down. Given the amount of material I've got in this video with a bunch of different days, I might give you an extra day of filming tomorrow after this dries, so you can see how it lands when I wake up. Also, we're trying to solve that problem of sticky uppy hair, so it'll be nice to see how this goes tomorrow. Also, I can tell you whether or not any of this hair dye has made a stain on my pillow or anything like that. Yeah, but making the hairpiece up that high is not good. Also, the dots are no good. The fact that the V-loops, sorry, not the V-loops, but the knots that haven't been tied in. So This is a piece of shit hairpiece, but first time I put on lace for a while, we'll see how it goes. And I'll see if there's any residual dirt around the front hairline, which is what I always hate about lace. But I think I mostly cleaned it off. What is this? I look like a fat goth. I don't know what's going on. This doesn't work. Too dark for my skin. Transition up here feels nice. No lump up there. So yeah, lace is the best for transitioning from the perimeter to the hairpiece. In terms of the front hairline, I need my glasses, I can't see shit. I just woke up. Alright. Yeah, I feel like dark hair only suits people with tan skin or darker. Pale skin and dark hair look weird. I'm trying to think of an example of when somebody naturally has such dark hair. A white person, I mean. Tom Cruise does, doesn't he? I guess his face is better looking than mine. Why does his work? Is his skin darker than I thought? This is the side where I dyed the side burn. This hair's come down to this distance, down to my ear. And this is abruptly cut short, like it was an accident. Look after me, just do something, look after me. I can't be leader, like telling you how this should be done. I've clearly got no idea. It's gonna get clogged up with glue soon, especially after a shower. Bad haircut there. This side flows better if there was product or something. this clump is the worst. I'll wait until my face stops being so puffy. My vision clears a bit so I can actually see myself properly. That is killing me. Once again, shitty hairpiece. Look at it. I'm trying to be Asian. Maybe it's not a shitty hairpiece. Maybe it's just... I know it is a shitty hairpiece, but I'm just saying, maybe there's a way to make it look good without, you know, having to worry about having a mirror nearby at every waking moment. It's definitely got to come down to the haircut or the product I put in my hair, right? Alright, I want to be Asian at the moment. How do I get rid of that? Oh my god, you're so blurry now. Clear, blurry. Clear, blurry. But dirty. Yeah, I can't see shit without these glasses at the moment. My eyesight's gone fucked. See, if I put stuff, spray stuff, it goes into my glasses and it doesn't fix. This was put in my hair last night before I went to sleep. It's as if there was nothing put in there in the first place. But there are other... Hey, here's a good reason to get rid of the greys. Can you see this close up? See how the greys flop down over the outside of that bar, making them highly visible? Whereas on this side, they're muted, more browned out, but still not invisible. Either 25 minutes or 23 minutes was not enough, or greys are different and they don't absorb hair dye as easily or something. Wow, you're so blurry. That, even the numbers of the recording time code are not even visible. That's crazy. I can barely even read the conditioner. What do I do next? Tell me. What do I do? Put something in my hair? What do you recommend? Something that's not going to be disgusting? Something that doesn't fluff out? Something that doesn't cause it to harden and create like solid... I'm going to put wax in. And the amount I put in is going to be important. Petroleum based, it's like, I don't know, turpentine with a splash of lemon. This connection up here, it feels so much better than with poly. Like I need a haircut, isn't it? Crazy hairline. Let's see, I can't see. Yeah, that hairline looks like shit. It really looks so much better when it's got that bleach, doesn't it? Wow, it's amazing how different I look in the mirror compared to on the camera. Why should you believe me? Shouldn't put glue up here, I'd rather get rid of, but can't be bothered. Look at all those dots in there, can you see that? Anyone with good eyesight, and that's the problem, I don't have good eyesight anymore, I can't just quickly go check in the mirror without glasses and understand what other people will be seeing. It's not safe for me to have a exposed hairline ever again, I suppose, with my eyesight going like this. The hairline totally needs to be re-bleached. Maybe if I just change clothes, it'll look better. I'll have a look later on. I've got a sore back, my eyesight's fucked, I need to have a coffee and I'm slurring. What was that? I just went for a fairly large walk and I can tell you every part of my body feels like it's dying, right? Up the hills, over dales, I don't know what a dale is, but it's a long way. It was very exhausting. So looking at this lace piece, just due to the fact that it's a bad piece, I overrode any kind of hairline bleaching and I didn't quite bleach the knots out the first time properly. Plus I've dyed my hair darker. It just doesn't seem to suit my skin tone that well. Maybe at night time it looks better because I look like I've got darker skin in this lighting. But generally, I'd say this hair color is too dark for me. Maybe I'm just not used to it. In the future, I am considering lace because I don't want those cornfield lines. Lace doesn't have them. Lace has squished dead ants, but they can be bleached. Don't know how well. In the past, I've seemingly thought it was not good enough, but it might be the lesser of two evils. In terms of front hairline maintenance, poly wins for sure, by 100 times easier. But in terms of perimeter connection, lace blends much nicer than poly does back here. There's also not some gigantic bump, so as a partial wearer, lace back here seems preferable, but these are not tied in. So when they're tied in, they're more likely to do this, right? And not stay down. Nevertheless, I will buy more lace, I think, when I've got some money. In the meantime, if I don't get more lace, or if I don't get more medium density poly, I'm gonna be stuck with these 0.06 low density pieces. And I feel like they should really be only reserved for emergencies only. In terms of hair regrowth, it's better now that I've got some length back. In terms of grey dyeing, 25 minutes was not enough to conceal with a 1-to-1 ratio of this product plus this product. I think the higher you go, and I think it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, the higher vol, and so, but by the way, the equivalent is, I don't know who's measuring these things, same people had an arm wrestle over Fahrenheit and Celsius, but Celsius is obviously better because water is a major part of our lives, rather than distilled water or something, whatever was going on that. Right, so with Fahrenheit, it's weird. Anyway, so 10 vol equals 3%, 20 vol equals 6%, 30 vol equals 9%, and 40 vol equals 12%. Percent of what? I don't know. This develops this. The higher the vol, the more it has lightening properties, the more it becomes like bleach. So bleach might be, I don't know, 100%, I don't know. I have no idea how it works. Anyway, this plus this gives you the ability to dye your hair all the time. It never seems to run out. And it's not that expensive, so you can easily get enough stuff to dye your hair with. I threw out the Hair for Men, or whatever it was called, because everyone said it was poisonous and it caused massive problems. Maybe there's an active ingredient in the air that's been found to be absolutely poisonous to humans. And I know there are substances like that, such as lead. I don't think it had lead in it, but still, I know there are things that are bad for us. And because of all the warnings, I just cut my losses and just threw it in the garbage bin. So tomorrow I've got to lie in a dentist chair or a hygienist chair, and they're going to check how clean my teeth are. And it's going to be a girl, so she might, end up marrying me, and I don't want this. I don't want this to be sticking out like a sore thumb at her. But I think I've solved the protrudiness by simply changing the hairpiece. And the sticky uppiness. But they're two different things, right? The sticky uppiness at that point, because I've got a partial, is separate from the sticky uppiness that everybody experiences because hairpieces don't want to lie flat. And I've always said it was 1.5 inches minimum that is required to give you enough length to sort of curve it down. But even when it's over 1.5 inches, there are times when you're going to experience that pineapple shoot. What are the leaves? If you were to call it one thing, it's the pineapple what? Imagine this is a crossword puzzle. You're not allowed to figure out how to restructure the sentence. You've got to find the word. What is the name of the green tuft that sticks out the top of a pineapple? Anyway, whatever that fucking thing is, that's what happens with your hair. So dyeing is fine. Bleaching is the answer, I think, in terms of trying to make the roots look good. Bleaching, poly is hard. You can never get right in the middle. In terms of dyeing greys, it's only 50% effective, 25 minutes at 1-to-1 ratio using the products that I show you. I mean, certainty is hard to give in terms of just yes and no. Certainty has to come in a range. There are thresholds and there are ranges. Most mathematical equations, the answer on the other end of the equal sign is a range. Hopefully this video has given you a feel, at least, of what those ranges are. In dyeing, in bleaching, in lace versus poly, etc. I don't know if I'll stick with lace from now on. I definitely won't because I've got heaps of poly left. But yeah, my next purchase is probably going to be lace. Just stay tuned to the Discord channel where people are writing what deals are popping up all over the place, okay? $25 off here, 25% off there. You know that 25% is higher than $25, right? If that ever happens, when we're talking about hundreds of dollars, good. So yeah, just go to the Discord channel. The link is at the bottom of all my new videos. Yeah, I think we've got about 75 people on there now. Trying to brush their hair. The hair product you choose is going to massively determine the way your hair stays down or responds to wind or whatever else. Sometimes hair products work better when mixed with water, and the amount you put in your hair fluctuates these are within ranges of acceptability. I'm sorry I haven't got a chart or a table or whatever to give you the ranges. In terms of summertime heat compared to wintertime heat, you all know that summer's worse for wearing hairpiece. I'm just approaching spring now, so the temperature outside is not as bad as it was before. This room has stayed 22 degrees because I've got the whole house heating on, set to 22 degrees on the thermostat stat. But outside right now it's probably about 10 degrees Celsius. That's 60 degrees, 50 degrees Fahrenheit outside temperature. So yeah, it's the first day of spring now. Hopefully I've given you enough to look at that people won't decide to go thumbs down. I don't know what determines why they do that, even when the video's only been out for a few seconds. I assume it's just people who hate me. Nothing I can really do with the videos to make them better so that they unhate me. They're just like waiting, poised, verged is a word I invented. I think I invented it because I couldn't think of the word poised when somebody said there's a word in German that means you're ready, and we're going to have such a word in English, and I said verged, and then later I realized poised. Verged is better though, like a spider. Verged. Doesn't matter. I'm not being angry at the people who invented words in the past. They're just not as good as me, that's all. This new dog hair is doing things to my mouth. It's making me think I'm very old with a very, very dark hairstyle. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't suit me. I look too old and fucked up. Maybe it's the black. Maybe I've got to find something else to wear. I feel like a tryhard no matter what I do. Look at that face. It looks like shit. I've got to go to the dentist. I just cleaned my tongue. I'm chewing gum now. Is it the roundness of the face that matters? I think it could be something to do with the uniformity of the one colour. Could also be just that I'm not used to it. Could also be that this grey strip coincides with this too short hair, whereas over here it's longer, but then it doesn't look quite right. Sort of greasiness to the hair, but not really. I think this works okay now that this has grown back a bit and this is lace instead of poly. It's not even tied in, so maybe that's helping, I don't know. Alright. I'm trying to mute the colours down so I'm not as dark and goth, but a 50-year-old goth. I mean, I'm 44, so it's, you know, I'm getting up there. But too old to look cool, you know. I try to look as much my own age as I can. I mean, I wasn't really raised to be told what happens at each age. I think there should be a book. I think maybe I have to write that fucking book. Give people a score. If you're fat, you lose this many points. If you're good looking, you get this many points. And all of this equates to how well people will treat you. What you will get from people in the world. I mean, even a good-looking dog, you're probably going to treat a good-looking dog, not me, because I love all animals and care about their feelings. But most people would go, oh, that's a better-looking dog. I want to hug that dog. That dog gets ignored, right? This is the good-looking dog. Other animals might even be able to see that you're a better-looking person, you know what I'm saying? If you're a fat, rotund waddler, like I am, fucking blistering out and feeling like I'm getting hernias every time I lift something. Anyway, I can't walk down the street without covering this up. Now from the look of things, grey and dark blue don't seem to go together. Also I have dark jeans on. I've got to get my other lighter jeans back because nearly all the clothes I've picked that I think suit me are dark bluish colour in the top half, which means that I all look one colour, like I'm wearing a jumpsuit when I wear these dark jeans. when I wear these Dorks jeans. So I've got to break up the colours. This has been stretched to shit, hasn't it? My objective is not to look impoverished, but rather sensible. Definitely not try hard. That's what I'm aiming for. Is my face really this ugly? I look like I fell down the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. Okay. I don't think I can get away with a brush back look at this hairpiece. Look how fake and badly positioned that hairpiece is. The try-heartedness is exacerbated by these I'm cool sideburns. So I'm going to take off a bit of them. But straight across looks shit. Might have to blend that a bit. It's always a risk doing that. You know, there are settings in my mind where I can just allocate to myself, well, it doesn't matter, I'm never going to see this person, this dentist person again for another 6 months or whatever. I just have to go in there as a customer and just be fat or just be ugly or whatever, right? But I have very few interactions with people, not just because of COVID, but because I don't go out, I don't leave the house, I don't do anything. So I need to make this matter enough that I go away feeling, wow, I'm not worthless. Because this one interaction gave me a boost of confidence. The opposite would be, yeah, they said, yeah, okay, your teeth are clean, now get out. Right? Instead of, wow, you're fucking hot, right? It's not gonna happen today. Might not happen ever again, but shit, this hair piece looks like a hairpiece right now. Why does it look so much like a hairpiece? It looks like a hairpiece less on this side than it does on this side. I'm pretty much convinced that it's the way this was cut rather than that being grey and that being dark. Even though you would think straight up that is the reason. But this haircut is just terrible. It's not even a bad haircut, it's just more about the way it's styled. And the thing is, it's so unforgiving when it's this dark. I might have to cut it shorter, but the thing is I've got to go now. I'll be there at about 9:45. I do have time to cut it. Do you think I can make this not look like a hairpiece if I cut it? Or do you think it'll stick out? Just tried the brush back look, didn't work. I'm gonna wear a hat and see if I can tame this completely. By the way, I used to think this hat suited me. Now, it doesn't. Why has it stopped suiting me? I get a feeling like my face has changed. It's completely reshaped itself. Just because I'm fat, probably. Tragus. They'll be looking down at me from up there. Up my nostrils. Everything. And in my mouth. Guess I better brush my teeth. Just doing a quick check of the hairline. The lace hairline. Yeah, not stuck down there. Bubble of glue there. Glue sticking out onto the forehead here. I lift it and then the whole thing comes up. This is fucking lace hairline, man. Yeah, lace hairlines are so bad. I just can't see any way to fix it. Really. Next time, I might go with a lighter dye. Dark hair is unforgiving. It's fine if you've got a tan. But if you're pale, you better be fucking hot. And I'm not. So, can't do it. There's always the option of getting it right here and then spraying it with hairspray. But then if I knock it, there's no way to fix it. It remains fucked. more I brush it, the grayer it gets. I thought I was gonna fuck it up completely then, but it looks better now, even though that area there is a bit. A lot of it's to do with the fucking saggy face shit. But then that whole area up there is fucked as well. Doesn't matter, I'm gonna spray it some more. It does look better even in ghastly sunlight, right? Now, even if it's windy, hopefully it'll stay. Springtime's back, so might be sweating, but hopefully it'll be alright. I feel like this is a massive improvement over this black long sleeve t-shirt. This hat doesn't suit me at all, and if I put it on now, it'll smash the hair up. So this is what I'm going to stay with at the moment. I wish I just would wake up with a perfect hairstyle. But yeah, I mean, everyone's got to brush their hair, right? Even people with real hair. I feel like I look respectable with my hairstyle like this. And the good thing is also there's some fluff happening right along the hairline that disguises it and makes it softened, you know, instead of hard Pee Wee Herman. Right. So what do you think about this? I know these tampon things are sticking out of my ears, but forehead seems a bit high, doesn't it? It's neat. Essentially in the future, like I say, I'll go back to a lighter version of brown. This is considered colour number 4 mocha from that company. The company that provided the hair dye. Just a bit too rounded. Maybe if this was thickened, the hair was thicker here. And now, I guess that given that the predicament of the grey preventing me from growing the sides longer has been solved, I can grow the sides longer so it won't be so faded. But I feel like there is some length there already. It's just something very fake about all of this, though. Very fake, you know. It's not fluffed enough. You know what I mean? I mean, you've seen previous hairstyles that I've had. This one just is not realistic looking, but I think for straight-haired people it might be kind of normal. I'm just not used to it, maybe. Anyway, don't want the cops to see that I'm filming while I drive. So, okay. Yeah, so basically, I wasn't exaggerating when I said she was looking at the top of my head. She did my teeth, a fair bit of plaque and stuff from 2 years of COVID. Just casually having a shower once every 3 days instead of once every day. I used to. Gums inflamed. Probably brushed too hard. When she showed me how to floss, she flossed all the way in. She gave me a head massage basically the entire time with her breasts. So I had to check if my hair wasn't all screwed up. I wondered on the way here how I would get wind in my hair. Would there be much wind? Well, it doesn't matter if there's much wind in the open or not. When you're sitting in your car, you want to wind the window down and the wind is bashing your face. So there's a lot of wind when you're sitting in a car. At any rate, my face is really bloated and my eyesight's really pinched. Like the sunshine really hurts. I mean, I've gotten really old really quick. I can't even see you. My glasses. I can't read the screen on my phone, which I need for maps and all sorts of settings and things. And I mean, I can see okay when I drive. I mean, there's no problem with my long distance side. It's just the close-up stuff for reading. It's just anyway. Sleep deprivation and so on. Not the greatest thing to help with your appearance. My hair does look pretty neat from a distance here. Looking at this looks like it comes across unnaturally instead of blending in with the rest of my hair. I'm not sure whether or not I like this hairstyle. For me, I'd prefer maybe to have fairly medium length hair all over. With the curtains, not with the other thing is, I think this colour, grey, instead of a flat colour, it's kind of like checkered. I've got to be careful though if I'm ever filming myself, which I often am, that I don't wear like really thin pinstripes or something because it doesn't work on camera. But the grey and light grey mixed together help hide dandruff, whereas if it was fucking hell, those shorts are just painted on. Yeah, so if fucking dandruff is a problem. So yeah, with this combination, grey plus white, not just jet black. It's always so clear when you got one flake. So black's not a good colour for me. These greys are probably a good colour for me. I mean, if I was thinner, I could probably get away with bright green and bright blue. Another kind of a combo or something. I just watched Brad Pitt fuck Rose Byrne in Troy. I met Rose Byrne once. Spoke to her on the set of a movie I was in. I'm not going to be able to fuck Rose Byrne. Not like this. I look like a fucking mess. I'm a fat fucking mess. I feel like I'm aging. I'm on my way into the land of just destruction. I fucking hit every branch on the way down of that ugly tree. Seriously. I don't move. I tried to go for a walk yesterday. I was like, oh my god, every aching muscle in my body going uphill. Trying to breathe, fucking walking up the hill. And this dark, dark hair. I'm gonna have to do something about it. It doesn't sit right at all. What happens if I cut it short? Will it become fluffy? I'm just gonna try to cut it, okay? This is all I can think to do right now. Let's imagine that the color is fine and the haircut is just shit. No matter how I brush it, it's gonna look like fucking bullshit because it's just the wrong length. I'm limited to the problems of hairpiece hair sticking up. But if this doesn't work, I'll just put on a different hairpiece. This is why my hairpieces don't last more than a month. Let's try this. Fuck, I'm so sick of being ugly. but I didn't realize there was something worse, and that is being almost paralyzed with pain in your body and lack of fitness. Obviously, health matters more than appearance. You know, it's illegal. It's illegal for me to go for a walk outside my property. I could go up and down the stairs. I could do laps of the apartment. I could even put on my virtual reality headset and play Beat Saber. But whatever I do, I've got to start moving. I can't just sit in that chair 18 hours a day and then go and lie in the bed for 8 hours and then get back up and sit in that fucking chair, coffee, snacks, no moving, no socializing, just aging and dying. My left shoulder's fucked up. I don't know what's happened to it. Really, sometimes it goes like blade in the shoulder. Hasn't helped. My face is still ugly. So much glue along the front. I hate lace. Yeah, like I say, the only thing good about lace is the perimeter. There's the front hairline. I constantly struggle with this. So I'm going to dry and clean this and try to re-glue it with the tape marking method. I went outside before and it's warm. This is winter, spring and then summer. It's a time of great sweatiness. But I've got to live my life. I can't just walk around worrying about my hairpiece so often. I need to look ready to go at all times. This should only be a once every 2 weeks and a front hairline maintenance thing, but I just haven't sorted it out yet. Dyeing my hair seems like it was a big mistake. Basically made me really off balance about this whole thing. And look, it's all caught up in the lace now, the glue. Let's see if this two-thirds mix is ready. You can still see it's not quite fully mixed in yet. Look how quick the bubbles move in there though. They don't move in the middle though, see? They stop in the middle. See? Look. It's not together. Just dripped. I'm gonna have to bring a fan into the bathroom now, it's getting too hot in here. Fucking hate lace, man. Now you might just think, why didn't I put the fucking tape down while the hair was down so I could tell where the line was going to be? Because it's impossible. That's why. Okay, it starts about there, right? It starts about there, okay? Glue point. Honestly, I don't know why people would prefer lace over poly. It's just, nobody's ever mentioned the cornfield lines when they've talked about Why lace is better? That would be the only reason lace is better. And the breathability. So the cornfield lines and the breathability, they're the only two things. But cornfield lines are more important than breathability. So obviously people didn't know what the fuck they were talking about when they complained about poly. It's a fucking joke, man. It's a fucking joke. I hate it so much. And then you lose where the tape starts every time. It fucking disappears. I have to pull it back. There's no way to do this while it's in my way. And then once again, I've got to guess. And then glue builds up, mess builds up. I just got to guess better this time. That's the only thing I can do. Fuck. And there's bound to be glue on my forehead at the end of this. If I underestimate. You know, I might give that that canister, that tincture that's settling down here, a stir. I'm sure stirring will help. I don't know how many attempts this is going to take, but if it takes another one, I have an opportunity to try that 2:1 ratio tincture. Tincture, if you can't understand my accent. See how that's as deep as I can stir it? And look how it's going white up here. So it looks like it's all getting pushed to the bottom down there. Shouldn't take that long. I mean, I don't know how long it's supposed to take. It seemed easier in this one where there was more air and I could do this more, you know. I don't think it was the 2:1 ratio that made it work. See how the knots are coming through? Because there were no knots. It was just placed there because this is a shit hairpiece. A COVID hairpiece. Let's go weigh it again. Whatever mood I'm in, it's not a happy one, I'm sorry. I just lost another game of chess. I was going up, 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 and then boom, 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 boom. It's like I've found all the cheats. Or maybe just they're better. Maybe. I feel like it really gives me a solid understanding of where my intelligence is, except for the fact that chess.com has lots of cheats and it's well documented, so you never know if you're getting a cheat. Never play the Indians. If a game starts with Indians, just quit, just abort the game, because they're always in a room of 20 people or something, just all helping each other, or they're using a computer. Just overtly cheat, just cheat by just plugging your moves in and then just doing what the computer says to do. It's hard to beat a computer. So still got some lifting up there. It's really high up. I feel like the hairline should be down there anyway. Now I haven't cut this hairpiece But I cannot be bothered redoing the whole thing because it's fucking lace. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because there's no way to really get an accurate hairline with lace, I'm just going to at this point, you can see it's not going to behave. It's a weird, the way it flows. Just no way to make it look natural. It's not just the color, it's the flow of the hairs as well. And you can tell there's no way to fix this from sticking up all over the place. Fuck, I seriously hate lace. I don't know why I was thinking about going back to it. Well, there's another $100 bucks down the drain. 100. Here's the piece I took off. This is from the curved hairpiece, the one that I felt was tattered and wrecked. I kept it in this box just in case. You can see how I've tried to fix it while it was on my head without any problem measuring. This is the back end of a hairpiece, so that's the crown which springs out in all directions. I just want to remind myself what this looks like. The colour might not match anymore, but I just got to see. All their hairs have come out from the lace. Yeah, it's a completely different colour, isn't it? Still got a bit of stick to it, especially with this other glue. This is a shit hairpiece as well, but it seems to flow better and look more natural. Doesn't it? Straight away, just straight away. It looks, even though there's a bad haircut, it's still better than this thing. I can't go back to lace. It's, even though that back area, that perimeter was better with lace, it's just not good enough. I'm going to stick with poly. This is a different colour from the hair I dyed, but I get the feeling that the dye will sort of fade over time. Back down to this colour maybe. Because I did dye this, didn't I? I didn't dye it the same colour as this for some reason, even though it's the same dye. I can't remember. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, for now, because I can't be bothered doing anything else, I reverted back to poly. And then I've got these quarantine bad hair pieces with low density. I don't have any money at the moment, so I can't buy any more hair pieces. But yeah, I'm glad I did that little experiment to remind myself why I hate lace so much. Because even just like straight away, this looks a million times better and more natural, doesn't it? Don't think it's just the colour. Somehow it's the flow as well. I don't understand. Tell me what you're seeing that's different. Because straight away, even though it looks shit, this is better, isn't it? I don't get it. The base material should not matter. But then it sort of exerts a force on the direction the hair flows, so maybe it does matter. Sort of left with no choice. I'm not going to walk around with this thing with a dirty scalp underneath. I'm left with no choice, little one. I must take one out of the quarantine bag. I'm going to pre-glue it as well. These, I have dyed the front hairline. This has not been dyed since its original colour. But it's still dark, so that's good. Now remember, I modified my stencil. There's that much surplus at the top I'm going to cut off. so that it fits in here more nicely. Then I'm going to pre-glue this. I'll be back after I've done those two things. I'm not going to film that. So I've gone to the trouble setting up my third hairpiece for this one video by shaving my head again. Not shaving my head, shaving my shave zone. I've trimmed the back edge to comply with my new stencil size. Hopefully this will mean that in the future I'll get 3 hairpieces out of one topper. Don't know if that's possible, but if I can get back down to the old days where I could easily cut 3. I was like 1, 2, 3, that easily fit. But you know, I've shaved that back because these peaks, because that's how my hair is balding, that's why I shaved this bit. Those bits there, even though they only bald to there, they keep creeping back up and creating these little triangles. And so in order to accommodate these little triangles that were here, I had to shave all the way back. So, and then I've also pre-glued this hairpiece with this 2-to-1 mix of Ultra Hold and alcohol. It was a bit runny, like as if it hadn't mixed properly. So I'll soon see if this actually, and I've left it for quite a long time to dry, so it is definitely dry to tacky level now. But it is quite thin. It's a very thin layer, so I can imagine if I pressed in hard and then pulled my finger, it would take it off the poly. I'm not sure if that would help if you washed and scrubbed the underside of the poly to make sure there were no chemicals or residual dust particles or anything on there, so it would have even better adherence. But I didn't try that. So unfortunately I didn't wet this, so it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to put this on my head. Now, wouldn't have mattered if I did wet it because the glue would have dried and so would have the hair. So to wet it now, this is a bit of a problem with pre-glued hair pieces. I'll just spray it a bit so there's a chance that I'll be able to see through the front there where my eyes are. Will be dripping over my face. Okay, so I'm going to spray this with alcohol now. It's weird waiting for 15 minutes or more when your head has no glue on it. It's weird. Okay, so this is now being cut, so I should not expect the overhang that I usually expect anymore. It's probably something I should have done a while ago. Let's hope that it is accurate. And I have to be careful not to smush it down over my forehead, so I'm going to start further back. It's very sticky already, I don't know why. It shouldn't be stick, it's because I was talking too much. All right. There we go. Wow, okay, so this is all the pain that I've gone through in this video to try to get the hairpiece a bit more accurate. The one thing that I think I can take away from this and be happy about, hopefully, is that my new stencil is the correct size for the first time in years. There's no overhang here, which I usually have to worry about. Let's just remember this is a 0.06mm poly. I have no problems with that thickness in terms of realism, in terms of lift at the front. Not lift, altitude from the shadow, I mean. Terminologies all sound very similar, don't they? Just to make sure it's not on an angle. Feels like it's pretty dead on accurate. Let's hope it is. So this piece is very low density. It's like medium light density, which is not good, as you can see through. Without my glasses, it's not as easy to see, but I can already sort of tell with a bit of blur. Those lines are there, those cornfield lines. And I'll glue down the front hairline after this. Hopefully it's lined up nicely. Well, that side does feel higher than this side. So to be honest, I really cannot tell the difference between 0.06 millimeter thickness in terms of the plastic base and 0.03. I just cannot feel the difference between them. It feels like it's on an angle. Like the whole thing needs to be that way. Maybe not. Okay, so one problem I have found with these new tinctures, these new combinations of glue and alcohol, put bubbles from it, is that they're too runny. It's hard to not drip it all over the place. So you be really careful. Look how runny that is. It's just dripping. That's not. Look at that. And it can drip off the top end of the stick as well, so the brush stick. It's a real pain in the ass when you can't speak English properly. I spent a year having to speak French in a foreign country. No English at all, really. It makes you really appreciate what people who don't speak English properly have to go through. It's frustrating. And it's not about speaking louder to me when I don't understand French. It's about speaking slower. Slower and choosing more baby words that I might have learned in class. And slang doesn't help me. Unless I've been exposed to it for a long time. I dripped some in my thumb, by the way. I'm just gonna wipe that off a little bit. So it's not so thin that it's going to drip off. Then again, water probably wouldn't drip off with the amount that I just put on. It's got to be done very delicately though. Really be careful not to get glue in those front hairs. But compared to the struggles you have to go through with the front hairline for lace, as we just saw, this is a negligible amount of effort. Just dodging those hairs at the front. Lace, no matter what I did, I could not get a nice front hairline. And I've got to say, that dark hair against my pale skin looks so fake. Like I was wearing a Dracula wig. So once again, I'm not going to slap this down immediately because it'll cause an oozing. I have to wait for it to dry, let's say 15 minutes. I'm so happy to have this back on, even though I know the front hairline is going to look fake, but it's all much better than the lace. Worst case scenario is I will brush it forward. I just hope I give myself a better haircut than usual now. And now that I've got the ability to dye my hair instead of keeping it grey, I will keep that option open to me of being able to keep those sides longer so I can just brush them back instead of having that wiry grey. Didn't get all the grey out this time, but it was only 25 minutes. But I know, I've seen other people who have dyed the grey out of their hair, so I know it's possible. It's no problem. Some of the problems with the realism that happened, the lack of realism that happened, was just having one tone of colour. Most of us are mongrels, we don't have just jet black or jet brown hair. So I don't mind this sort of faded, fuck, I'm good with words. This faded browny grey colour there, compared to red, orange, fucking all the colours of the rainbow going to white on that side. So potentially I'll be okay with salt and pepper grey going forward. Just by dyeing it, 25 minutes is enough at a 1-to-1 ratio with 3% developer and dye. It's a lot of technicalities, isn't it? But really it's just two things. If you only ever buy two products, if you only ever just rely on this and say, okay, I want to dye my hair, I don't want to lighten it, then this is the only developer you'll ever use anyway. So just say developer and dye. So 1-to-1 developer and dye mix. Now I don't have to use all those percentage words and vol words and stuff. Okay. I'll wait for this to dry. Okay, so let's see now. 0.06 millimeter, medium light density, LordHair replacement COVID piece. Had a problem with cornfield lines. Get my glasses ready to focus. So the bleaching at the front has resulted in a better appearance than what originally existed. In terms of the way I've placed this hairpiece, seems kind of wonky, like I predicted. Not predicted, accidentally. That's way too high, isn't it? I forgot where my hairline's supposed to be. That's definitely higher than that. Potentially that's too low. Yeah, my reflexes were correct. Reflexes, fuck. I've talked too much. I've run out of words. Let me know if you find a better water bottle than this. I'm sick of having to do this. I mean, I know it's a bit of a workout for my forearm, but I'd rather just pump it a few times and then go. I've seen them somewhere. Television, maybe. Yeah, I've got those fake bullshit lines happening there. But still, this is so much better than the lace, really. The hairline is so neat. I've got no fear of glue being all over the place. There's just no glue at all there. No glue whatsoever. There's no part that hasn't been glued, and there's no part where there's glue on the forehead. Because I glued directly onto the base. And look, I'm brushing straight up. Very low rise. I can't see any shadowing going on. No shine or anything at this point. Looks like there's residual glue from the last hairpiece I didn't quite get out. Could have been from when I was smushing it into position, maybe. I don't know. The best way to get that out really is spray alcohol and then just brush it with a comb. Now in terms of this side, This side's probably the more realistic side, but that does look quite bald, doesn't it? That should really have come down there. Let's have a look up here and see if I fucked up there. How bad is that? I mean, it's exacerbated by the fact that this is long and this is short. I'll just give myself a quick haircut. I'm not going to try to take it off and reposition it because the glue feels quite solid. Can't bother rectifying that. I'll probably end up cutting that one out on that side. I'll do that first. Now, when you're cutting out this, you have to do it twice, okay? One, generally, and second, get the edges off because there will be edges. Okay, so first start with the general. I'm going to cut off less than I want. Okay, the first bit. Now, purple glass like this, not that it matters because I'll be able to feel it anyway, but whatever. Now, yeah, the glasses are showing me that this looks fake as fuck. It's just no hiding the cornfield lines. And there's no density to cover it over. I'll just flip the camera over so you can see what I'm complaining about. Can you see it now? Cornfield lines, absolutely fake looking. That's what my real hair looks like, how it comes out of my scalp. And then hairpiece. Hairpiece, 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 everyone can tell. And then realistic with a pimple and everything. See? Realistic. Oh, but that's the grey side, not dyed. And that's the side that was dyed. And then there's the hairpiece, the new hairpiece, the third hairpiece for this video. Such a shame, isn't it? How can that be minimized? Well, by having thicker density. I already bleached it, but I can't bleach the lines out, the cornfield lines. So I've got a year's supply of this stuff. When it's dry, it should be a bit more disguised, but it still feels like this side's even way too high, doesn't it? Probably should have taken off and just tilted it. Yeah. Okay, so quick haircut. These glasses want to just scratch the cornea as they come off. Don't get them, just get ones that are like that and they come off normal. Don't get the ones that cling to your head and they're going in like that, and then as you take them off they're trying to scratch your eyeballs. And you lean forward and they're trying to fall off your face. It's just bad design. Wow, that looks really quite bald, doesn't it, that whole area? Those glasses were $650, very expensive, with the, you know, lens all the way to the edge, ultraviolet protection, blue screen protection. It's a lot of money. But then when we talk about these hair pieces, we're always talking about hundreds of dollars, aren't we? So fucking expensive ailments, being bald and not being able to see. I'm gonna keep it a little bit long. I hope it's still neat. You can see how thin that is. It's really, really low density. I still want to try to achieve the curtain look, which is my favorite. This hairstyle, not parted to one side, but rather parted in the middle. Look at all of that. So such low density. Really, really, I recommend medium density, not high density. Not that I've ever seen high density for sale, but not medium light. Medium light is only good if they invent a way to hide the glue and hide the knots. Both of those things have yet to be, well, hiding the glue's been solved by wearing poly, but hiding the roots hasn't been solved with poly. But yeah, I'm glad I tried on lace, even though it was a pain in the ass and a lot of effort. I am glad. Because I now remember why I hate it. It's a really long fringe, 5-inch fringe. Look at the fringe length. But given all the trouble that I do have with styling the hair, what does that look like? Looks like I'm balding but have a long comb over, doesn't it? I can't see it. It's hard to tell. What is that? What is that bit always? Do you reckon I should just shave that bit out? It really depends on the lighting, that thing. All right, I'll cut it. Thought it might be a worthwhile experiment, but I can't imagine it will be. New length is eyebrow length, probably 3 or 4. 3.5 maybe, if I'm cutting off. This is 5, I don't know if it's 5 or 6, the default that it comes in. But yeah, really, really low density. Fine for a brush forward look, and low enough density now that my hair's growing back a bit that this is not causing a bump either, which is good. And it is good that I cut to my new stencil. It's a pity that I cut up so high on this side. So the front hairline looks like that, okay? 0.06. Give you a closer look at that. Okay, so this is 0.06 millimeter poly. With fresh glue, with really, really thin glue. The thinnest glue that I've ever seen. Basically, I've got to pop that. But yeah, really thin, a tincture, a mixture of glue and alcohol. Over here it's not quite to the edge, somewhat over there, but I think people will fall for it. Doesn't feel like there's much overhang and gaps, so that's good. Yeah, main lesson I got from this is this whole video. The main lesson I've got is make sure your stencil's good. Make sure it's good. Make sure it fits you. Make sure the shave area and your stencil are identical, because at the time you made the stencil, you made the shave area the same as that, but then over the years, you might have let it grow back a bit or cut it back further or some other thing. If you've cut it back further and you didn't need to, I don't recommend you change your stencil. I recommend you just let that grow and don't keep shaving there because you made a mistake, right? And you need to let that perimeter come back forward because you've been shaving back too far. During that time, just keep it fluffed over, right? Maybe put some Topic in there while it's growing back or something, I don't know. But I don't think you should just keep going back and back and back with the stencil. That's going to cause permanent problems. I think make your hairpiece always bigger. In terms of this haircut, I don't know if it's good or not. It looks pretty shit. But we saw the problems each time that I cut it really short. Boing, right? I don't want that to happen ever again. I'm fucking sick of it. Therefore, I'm thinking I don't want to ever go shorter than 3 inches at the front. So, to have this longer front fringe stuff, I need to grow the rest of my hair longer so it matches. And now that I've realized that I'm willing to dye my grays, which I've done in this video as well, a lot in this video, well then I can grow up long again, which is good. The greys are no longer stopping me from growing it long. So that's a relief. Now in terms of these cornfield lines that we've got going on here with poly, the best thing you can do is make sure that you get medium density and not medium light density. So you've got some sort of concealing. Also in terms of making sure that the front hairline looks good at all times, you have to bleach the front hairline. With lace, it wouldn't just be the front hairline, it would be the whole underside of the lace. Because that's easy, right? With poly, you just brush it back that way, put it on the floor, and just put blonde, you know, I can't bother digging it out, but blonde peroxide. And just do like 10 at a time, if you've got 10 hair pieces that you're doing at a time. Because you don't want to be opening one of those bottles, because they're 15 bucks each, and it takes effort. But it doesn't take much more effort to do 10 hair pieces it takes to do one. If you had to do it 10 times separately, that's 15 plus 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 $15. I don't know if I said it correctly 9 times, but it's a lot of money, right? $150 instead of $15. 5 hours work instead of half an hour's work. Or whatever else. I didn't multiply it out properly, but that sounds pretty accurate actually. So, yeah, do things in bulk. I'll deal with you later. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this hairpiece as it stands. You have to look fairly closely. Can you see that twitch? Look at that, sleep deprivation, illnesses, lack of fitness. Do it again. Do it again. Don't be that frog on the stage that doesn't perform. Anyway, rewind it and have a look. Look at this. Okay, so face sag. Now when people talk about face lifting, there are two things, right? There's the nasolabial folds. Well, there's a lot in terms of fatness because you've got all this stuff going on, right? I want to get rid of that. But nasolabial folds, then you got the bags. I don't think surgery is good enough yet. Surgery is even more behind. Well, not more behind. I'd say look at plastic surgery, and then look at hair transplants. They're both shit, aren't they? They're both so fucking unrealistic and fake. At least with a hair transplant, you can just shave it off, wear a hat, cover it up. But your face, holy shit! No, don't fuck with your face. The only thing you should fuck with your face is trimming your eyebrows. Just make sure they're not fucking spider monkeys. That's it. I feel like I'm back. It's not too bad. It sits nicely. Medium light density is not good enough to cover the cornfield lines. But if there were no cornfield lines, this is the density I would probably want. Because it just sits flat and it's nice and it just moves in position. There's no fucking bulging out or anything like that. And I probably would prefer to grow my hair out longer so that it sort of flowed a bit more, even though I don't like having a big buffy hairdo, but at least you can style it and stuff, right? And this longer curtain thing matches better. Anyway, I feel more real looking now than I did when I wore that fucking lace piece. I still look filthy sick because of my sleep deprivation. Maybe one day I'll just have a week of my life, set it aside and just become disciplined. Drink water maybe. I haven't drunk water in years. Just acidic drinks, even though they're like 0 sugar. You can't tell, but yeah, imagine if I drank soft drinks that were full of fat as well. I've got to lose weight, I've got to get healthy, and I've got to not, like I said, the fucking struggle of walking up those hills and breathe every 5 minutes, or even more. Look, you can tell the weather's changing. It's getting pretty humid in here. Oh, humider. These things, don't get these things, they're useless. I just bought a phone charger. This inspired me to get it. It was $22. Put it on the desk, plug it in with a USB-C cord, put the phone on, and because I've got an iPhone 11, it's got an induction coil on the back of it so that the power can be sent through. Is that what an induction coil does? Anyway, it's wireless charging and I fucking love it. It changed everything. Plus my phone's not sitting flat. I don't have to fucking find the end of the cord wherever the fuck it is, reach down the floor and plug it in each time. Even though it's a good double directional symmetrical plug, that the lightning cable is much better than the old ones with micro USB. You gotta fucking turn the lights on, fucking to put it in. This is much better though, fucking wireless. A stand, boom. But this shit, you wouldn't want this stuff unless you're a girl. Pop sockets, they're terrible. I got black ones so they go with my phone case and stuff, but it doesn't matter. The glue on the back of these things just peels off, so you're just trusting the glue. Same with Velcro. A lot of Velcro, you think, oh, that Velcro sticks really well. Yeah, it sticks to itself really well. What about the back of it? That's 50% of it. Look at this eye twitch, look at that. There you go, do it. It's like I've got a beating heart in my eyeball. So I've just started transferring all that footage onto the computer and transposing it, I guess you could say, converting it from variable frame rate using the iPhone to constant frame rate using Handbrake, and that will allow me to import that footage into Premiere. Now I'm gonna go for a walk because I'm so fucking fat. I gotta get rid of this, seriously. I just visited my cousin and basically she said there's a little fold right there on your hairline. She was in one of the previous episodes with me pointing at why it looks fake in the sunshine and stuff. If she can see it, everyone else can. She's 40, right? So I said, what's the issue? Well, yeah, you got this little fold here. I said, wait, you can see a fold? Yeah, it's not pushed down. And I pushed it down. She said, that's better. That's all it needed. I'm like, no, that's not good. He's saying I have to keep pressing down. I'm not aware when that happens. It's just terrible. And she said, yeah, well, at least it's just that, because, you know, the what? He said, well, it looks like steri strips. I said, what's a steri strip? And she looked it up, and she's a nurse. So it's like some fucking plastic thing that holds stitches together, wounds together. And she was looking basically at the plastic as if there were lines of plastic all through this. And then she said, the hairline's too straight across. I said, wait, let's go with the steri strip thing for a second. You're seeing lines of plastic. The whole thing is plastic and there are hairs stitched into it. Yeah, but I'm seeing lines of plastic. I said, that's like me looking at a basin here in the kitchen, right? And not seeing the basin, but the air in the basin. You understand that the default of existence is the plastic. So you're not seeing straight lines of hairs, which I keep complaining about. No, you're seeing straight lines of plastic. So, well, that doesn't exist. There are straight lines of hairs. There are no straight lines of plastic. Straight lines of plastic are incidental from the straight lines of hairs. Anyway, that's the way she saw it. Can't argue with that, but not realistic. Fake, she says. And I said, what happens if I fluff it forward? The reason my hair's wet now, let me use your base and I'm gonna get fucking like this shiny hairspray out of my fucking plasticky fucking hairpiece, right? And so that's why it's wet. But when I fluffed it forward, she said, well, why don't you just leave it forward like that? It looks better like that anyway. I said, really? Yeah, much better than brushing it back. I said, yeah, but it's like the pinnacle, it's like the pride of hair wearers to have the hair brushed back, so we say, look at me, I've got a hairline, right? And she said, well, fuck them. Yeah. So, why am I trying to brush it back? For me, I feel, well, it's wind resistant, I don't know, maybe she's wrong, I don't know. The thing is, she's got supervision. But it's not supervision, it's just normal vision. I just have impaired vision. So, what do I do? This hairpiece sucks. But she also pointed out that it looks just like the hairline is too straight across. Can you see that? I'm gonna flip this so you can see through the good camera. I won't be able to see what I'm filming, of course, but that's the way this thing goes. Okay, so I've got no mirror at all this time, you understand that? Can you see? Plus there are people looking out their windows at me. It's a street full of fucking flats. So I'm pretty upset. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I look at myself in the camera screen of this tiny little screen here. Admittedly, my head is the size of my thumb on this screen, whereas in real life, my head is the size of a bowling ball. So, oh shit, I'm supposed to be wearing a mask. Everyone's wearing a fucking mask. Alright, I'll get arrested or some shit. Alright, I've got to go. So it looks fake, huh? She could tell straight away. We sat on her balcony so she could have a cigarette, and I was smoking my vaporizer. And she said, yeah, you've got this fold. Overcast, so not too glary. Perfect lighting conditions for filming. And eyesight for humans. She hasn't got any problem with her vision. Bit fucked up, isn't it? There's no escape. No fucking escape. Can't have low density. This thing keeps going off in my pocket. I totally thought I'd nailed it. But even now you're a blur, so I can't fucking tell. If you have to wear glasses, make sure you use them when checking your hairline. So if this one, think about this. If I thought this looked pretty realistic, even though I knew there were, I told you before I even put it on, there are cornfield lines. If I thought this one looked real, imagine how shit those other ones were that I threw away. Because you only get stuff through the camera, and some of you were only watching this through an iPhone or something, instead of on the big screen, so you can properly look. But that's to be expected. The thing is, I prefer poly, but you can't have medium light density. It's got to be medium density. But I'm not going to take this off and throw it in the bin because I can't be fucked. She said the hairline was too straight across, but I don't know that zigzagging it would really do much to help the situation. It might, but I'm exhausted, so I'm not going to fucking deal with it right now. And it's harder to glue, harder to peel back without ripping it. Oh man, what a fucking waste. I've got a year's supply of this shit. Yeah. I need money so I can buy more hairpieces. Keep telling people, each other, and tell me as well, where I can find a good hairpiece for a good deal. I'm not going to be spending more than $200 on a hairpiece, including delivery. That's absolutely certain. There are enough people on the internet selling hairpieces that you don't have to spend huge markups for getting the same product. And you see all these expensive websites, people spending more than $300 for a hairpiece with a delivery. And they're still complaining it looks like shit. So it's not about how much it costs. In some cases with European hair it might. I might have to do a custom order, you know, but I mean, I actually did try to get a custom order. I said I want blonde hair pieces, and then I want you to dye it, but not the roots, so it looks real. And they refused to do that custom order. So let me know if you found a company that actually does that well, not just a blonde up to there and just straight line brown thereafter. No, it has to blend in. Invisible roots. Still going for it. I don't want these straight lines. I don't want fucking, what do you call it? Strip. Sterilizer strip. I don't know what it means. Sterilization strip. Whatever it is. She saw lines of plastic. As if she saw the hair as real, but then lines of plastic in amongst them. So that's why I wet my hair, to try to get rid of the hairspray, which would have added shine to the plastic. Do you understand? So much effort. Well, you can take it from her. Don't take it from me, take it from her. She knows. She's looking at my head. All I've got is a mirror with bright lighting, and I can't see myself from every angle when sunlight hits it and all sorts of things. It all started with seeing it fold. But I said, does it look fake? And she said, yeah, it looks fake. So I've got to just find more hairpieces somewhere. Somewhere out there where beautiful hairs do flow. It's not very good. Fix it for me. Go.